Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of our F1 22 My Team Career Mode, where this time out we are at Japan. But first we have some news for you. There is a retirement announcement. Fernando Alonso is going to be retiring from the sport at the end of this season. So yeah, he's not going to be in F1 next year, and it's always interesting when retirements happen because obviously the AI have to hire somebody else. So we'll have to see who Alpine go with for the next season. But you can see last time out we got 6th, Jenson Button got 9th, which means double points finish for our team. So let's see if we can do that again in this race.
Okay, I need your attention. The tech regulations are changing. There's a risk some of our hard work will be undone, so we need to mitigate it. As soon as you can, I want you to look at the developments we have and tell us what areas you want to invest in protecting.
So there we go. That is why we have been saving resource points, why we've got over 6,000 or almost 7,000 resource points in the bank. Because, yeah, the tech regs are changing. Be interesting to see what ones they are. Qualifying and the race going to be dry. So no wet weather for us. And the regulations that are going to be changing are the powertrain and the durability. We do have quite a few upgrades in those sections. I mean, we're pretty balanced. You see, we've got like 10 or 11 upgrades in all of the areas, but it does mean we're going to be having to spend our resource points protecting the powertrain and the durability department. In terms of actual progress, as you can see, we haven't made a huge amount because we've just been saving, and it seems like a lot of other teams have been doing the same thing. So we're still sort of the best of the rest, technically, but you do have McLaren there right on our tail, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do. But I don't know if you noticed, there is some rain about. There is a lot of rain about on the track. And yeah, there we go, Mark telling us the track is going to be wet for a while. The weatherman lied. Our weatherman lied to us. It said there's going to be like, what, 20-30% chance of rain, and here it is. We're just going to have to deal with it. You see, we've put 8 laps worth of fuel in, so then we can get quite a few laps in. Because I always find I just gain time every extra lap I do on these inters. In terms of Japan as a racetrack, I'm pretty out of practice because if you played F1 2021, you all know how much of a nightmare Japan was. You'd go on it and you'd just go through this S section and just spin every single time without fail. It was impossible to drive, so I basically never touched it last year. So this is pretty much the first time I've been back on this track, obviously other than practice, for a good year. So it'll be interesting to see where we can put ourselves. But our second lap that we just did was almost a 141, which is still almost 5/10 off of Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin. That's slow. Well, I don't know what's going on. I mean, the AI have always been pretty fast in the wet. There is no doubt about that, but we shouldn't be that slow. There we go. We skip forward a little bit. We come back into the garage and we're P21. We are second to last. Only Tsunoda is slower than us, and he must have had an issue or something because his car should not be there. Even Albon and Latifi is faster than us. What is going on? Anyway, this is our final lap. You see, we've actually found quite a bit of time. We're almost a second up. Going on to the long back straight here, but you can see just how hard I'm pushing because we are all over the shop with the back end trying to step out on us, and we crossed the line about 1.1 seconds quicker, I think it was, and it's only good enough for 18th. Only good enough for 18th place. You see, Pierre Gasly got grid penalties for illegal blocking for some reason, but yeah, we'll have to see what we can do in the race.
Welcome along then to the magnificent Suzuka International Circuit, a stone's throw away from Issei Bay in the beautiful Japanese countryside. What surprises lie in wait for us today in the Japanese Grand Prix? We're southwest of the city of Nagoya today at the unique figure of 8 Suzuka Circuit. 3.6 miles and 18 corners make up a lap here, with average speeds approaching 136 miles per hour. DRS will be available, of course, into the potential passing opportunity at turn 1, although the best place for overtaking will be through the 130R and into the final chicane. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Mick Schumacher, Esteban Ocon, and Albon. Hamilton, Stroll, Norris and Max Verstappen. Button, Fernando Alonso, Paul and Vettel. Magnussen, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Ricciardo, Nicholas Latifi and Yuki Tsunoda, they've taken a grid penalty. Gasly, Sainz, Bottas and Guan Yu Zhou. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
So it looks like it's a very mixed up grid order from what it actually was in qualifying. A lot of people have got engine penalties at this back end of the season now, which means that we actually start in 13th place. We are quite a few places further towards the points. You've got Jenson Button in P11. I think he actually qualified like P4 or something, didn't he? So that is a shame. He's been getting so many engine penalties recently. But here we go. The race has started. We are now side by side with Sebastian Vettel. Can we send it down the inside? It looks like we don't. We are very close to him, but our teammate is defending from him, which means that we don't really have anywhere to go. As you see, we think about going down the inside there, but really not worth it going through those S section on these stone cold tyres on the first lap. You do not want to be binning it on the first lap. So we're just going to sit back and let the action unfold. I know we were slow in qualifying, but hopefully we've got decent race pace and we can relatively quickly get past the likes of Sebastian Vettel. We do send it down the inside, but you could just see the back end of our teammate's car there, meaning we can't actually go for a proper send, and we had to back out. We are still right in the gearbox of Mr. Vettel here. And we do eventually decide we're going to go for it. We send it down the inside, but we go wide, and Daniel Ricciardo is there. In the background, Yuki Tsunoda is crashing into Sebastian Vettel, losing a bit of wing. And Daniel Ricciardo is like, thank you very much. I'll just go straight through, but we're not having it. We come back on him, sending it down the outside through 130R, which is, a little bit brave. But we've made it work, and we are up into P13. I think is where we started, didn't we? So yeah, we haven't actually really gained anything. And our teammate has lost out as well because he's now in P12. So overall, not a fantastic first lap. A lot of fighting that we really could have done without. But there are a lot of slow cars up ahead. The likes of, Alex Albon, Lance Stroll in P8 and 9. Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon. We should be faster than all these guys. And we send it down into our teammate. I don't know what I was thinking there. No team orders here. Oh my god, that was a send. But we made it work. Unfortunately, Daniel Ricciardo also managed to get past Jenson Button in the process, so he's now down into P14, but we've moved ourselves up into P12. So next up in our sights is Fernando Alonso. You've also got Max Verstappen in the mix, but I don't think we'll be fighting him, given he is in a Red Bull. And we take a huge amount of curb there, sending it down the outside of Fernando Alonso. He locks up, almost goes into us, but we do not give up. We stick around the side of him there, and it's just a drag race now. You've got Daniel Ricciardo, again thinking about it. He's been sending crazy moves here. Hopefully he doesn't go for a massive dive bomb on us. He does not. We are fine. So that is us past Fernando Alonso up into P11. Now, you may be wondering why we are just watching the whole race on the replay cam as we look at Max Verstappen trying to get past Alex Albon, goes wide, almost goes into us, and then ends up just sending it down the inside of Alex Albon anyway. That gets Albon out of shape, which allows us to go down the inside and get past him. What is he doing? We've had the better exit on this corner as well. We've got the DRS, probably using the overtake. Send it down the inside. We have to wait for the camera angle, but there we go. There is the proof that we are up into P9 already from P13 at the start of the race. We qualified P18 and we're in P9. Anyway, hopefully nothing happens too much so I can continue what I was saying. We are watching the replay cam because when I recorded this race, for some reason the actual race recording didn't work properly. So yeah, we're just having to watch the replay, but it's the same race, so it doesn't really matter. You just don't have the little graphic at the bottom that says what sort of speed or gear we're in, so really it doesn't make much difference. But on to lap 7 here. We are still in P9, but we do have Lance Stroll up ahead of us that we will be hoping to get past relatively soon. We do not want to be stuck behind an Aston Martin for too long. Jenson Button has got himself back past Daniel Ricciardo, and onto lap 8 he's got himself past Max Verstappen. We are a lot closer to Lance Stroll than we have been. We send it down the inside. We get a lovely little camera view there of us going over the curb, and we're up into P8. There we go. One thing I have noticed is the AI, for some reason, going into turn 1 seemed to just brake for some reason, but a few guys have gone into the pits, and you can see just how close Button is to us. He definitely hasn't been falling back. He is on the pace. On to lap 9, it is our pit stop time. We are doing a soft, well, it originally said soft to medium, but we decided in the end we don't want anything to go wrong here because we are in the points. We need this. So we decided to put on the hards because that'll definitely get us to the end. So we come out on the pits, a weird graphical glitch there where the whole thing becomes green for some reason. But yeah, we come out of the pits into P12. Some very nice clean air for us as well to pump in the lap times. On to lap 14, Jenson has been in the pits and he's come out a lot closer to us than he was before we went into the pits. He's now within DRS. So the overcut for him has definitely worked. I would say overall he's probably been the faster driver. He was definitely the faster driver in qualifying, and he is very close to us now. He sends it down the outside. I think of this is the outside. Yep, send it down the outside, and we just brake a little bit earlier and let him through. We do not want to be fighting him. There is really no point. What we're going to try and do, you see, in P5 and 6 is Schumacher and Lando Norris. They're about 2.5 seconds up the road. We're just going to cling on to Jenson Button here. We're going to let him go faster, and we're going to stay with him using the power of DRS. That is our plan. And it has worked. On to lap 21. We are now very, very close to Lando Norris and Mick Schumacher. You can see they are the 2 cars ahead of us there, ahead of our teammate. Now, we did a bit of team orders earlier where we obviously let Jenson Button through, and he's done all the hard work for us of getting us close to the likes of Norris and Schumacher, but he's been too slow. He's not getting past them, so we do exactly the same move as we did last time. He probably wasn't expecting us to do it again, but we did. We send it down the inside, and we are through into P7. Lando Norris, if you've been watching the series, you will know we've had quite a bit of a battle with him. In quite a few races, that man is very, very fast in his McLaren, especially as on the performance chart you would have seen earlier. That McLaren is supposed to be pretty much on par with our car, but we have to actually lift off there, otherwise we would have got into the back of him. We go around the outside this time rather than the inside that we did with our teammate, and we're through. We are up into P6. Next up is Mick Schumacher. We've got 3 laps to try and get past him, so it is full beans from now on. But skipping to the start of lap 27 here, yeah, you see we're still in P6. We haven't got past him. We have been close. We've been sticking in DRS, but I'm guessing it's the Ferrari power unit. I don't know, honestly, at this point. I'm not sure, but the Haas shouldn't be that fast. But Mick Schumacher has been having an absolutely brilliant drive and is seemingly going to bring home P5 for the Haas team, and Kevin Magnussen in P9 as well. So that's a double point for Haas as we round the final corner now and cross the line in P6. As you see, our teammate comes past us in a second there in P8. Not too bad, not too bad. I mean, we had a terrible qualifying, to be honest. Probably a mix of it being the rain and also just lack of practice in Japan. But we qualified P18, started P13, and in the end, finished P6. You can't really ask for much more than that, can you? But yeah, P6 for us, P8 for Jenson Button, another double points finish for the team. Nobody DNFing this time, no engine issues. Just a solid, clean race through the pack. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that fantastic stuff, and we'll see you at the next race in the USA. And I'm telling you now, I know I said it for Monza, but I'm telling you, you do not want to miss the US race. Probably the best race of the season. So, yeah, don't miss it.